amazing to see. Literally up to here where I'll be covering the whole beach. This is what you'll get after, you know, those big storms that we've had recently. You'll get things like this on those surf beaches. And you're absolutely stuffed. It's the best fight you'll ever have if you kill a pump of weed. But yeah, if you pretty much see, like imagine that chunky bit's not there. If you even see this much here, that's going to be really thick in the water. So the other thing to do is while you're looking for those high winds that are like, we're talking 20 knots, you're not looking to go the day after it's been well 35, 40 knots and been absolutely crazy and houses, you know, falling down from trees falling down. You know that this is going to happen. So you need to watch for the wind. So that aside, let's say you've got all the good conditions together, you've got down there, you've staked out your hole, you've done all that kind of thing, you've used Google Earth, you've found some good beaches, you need to source fresh bait because this is how you're going to catch a gummy shark. You know, here I've got trevally, salmon, squid, I think there's some cuttlefish there. The best thing you can do is catch it yourself. Probably all our best catches will come from fresh squid. We've been on a long lake and a fresh squid head rather than the street. And when we have baits up there, that squid is salmon there, it's in the score. If you want to, that's what we'll call the size of it. So then I'll take a squid head like that and slice it in half, put it on a single hook, and cast that out. Now, the reason why I use big baits is along with that is I don't really get against them. The reason why I don't do it is because yes. Now, the pests when you surf fish are a huge problem. With the skates, Port Jackson sharks, drum port sharks, every kind of stinging anyway. Some of the way up to 50 kilos. Basically, they're just a waste of time. In that peak window, if the stingray or the skate or the crappy shark gets to the bait first, you miss your opportunity to get a gummy shark. Gummy sharks have an amazing sense of smell. They don't need verbally bringing around. They're already there. It just needs a lot of into the bait. So, you know, I say, don't do the verbal thing because it's just going to get the best. Now, you've obviously got your fresh bait. Parking strip here is cast down. Now, there's never really been specialised gear made by any tackle companies for this kind of fishing. Everybody's probably used really long sort of surf rod for catching salmon and tailor and all that kind of thing. But it's only lately that companies have started realising guys are doing this kind of fishing and they're enjoying it and there's some specialised gear. So I'll show you the minimum size sinker that I use. This is what I call a rocket sinker. The reason why I like using these as my first choice of sinker, this is a 6 ounce, that's the minimum size bait I like to use. The reason why I like using these is because they're rocket shaped and that's the really area fast. Instead of the top, it's got a stem, it's fast in the formation, and that's really important. Because the first thing we can do is we can cast out the quick. I'll show you the first one we use before we get into the cast. This is timed in 60 because as much as I feel my take it really hard, generally I like to use 80 pound leading time. So what we've got is a size of 1 swivel. This is a bigger swivel in terms of breaking showing the size that you actually need. Any rig I do for any type of fishing, I like to have everything as small and as finesse as possible, even for fishing on the surf. The reason why I use such a big sinker is because I found that the smaller sinkers can turn into sand. The sand gets inside the sinker, it pops it up, and you get line twists, and once you get line twist, all this will twist around and nothing's going to catch your bait. Then try and drop a hook. You don't know how to tie drop a hook, jump on YouTube. Look, it is actually a really tricky knot to tie and drop a hook when you're first doing it, because there's a lot of things you've got to do in the way you pinch it to tie it. If you just sit there with like gold glass and shit where you can't tie it, you just sit there and practice it over and over again. The first time you get it, you have it. I then dress it, basically a drop a hook, or when you finish tying it, B or blue, and then I cut it because I want my bait basically off. My sinker's going to sit buried in the sand. The idea behind the sinker is that star formation at the top, or star sinker, is the second best thing you can use. Do you know when you walk into the sand as a kid and you stand in the water and the waves come back and pass your feet buried in the sand? That's what the sinker's doing. You don't want the sinker to be rolling around, moving your bait around like you're doing when you're surfing on the salmon. You basically want that to stay put. So essentially when I cast this out, my rod then goes into the sand spine, and it shouldn't move except for the tip like that. I should see the tip moving away, but I want that basically like a hanger holding it there. When this walks around, I dress it up with beads. I do this differently every time. Sometimes I pass these around and size hooks I use, 9 or hook. Actually, it might be a 8 or a 7. Pass me out and stuff. I dress them up with different beads. I think it actually works, having a bit of oil to it. And this red stuff that you can see around the hook is heat shrink. Does everyone know what heat shrink is? No, you don't know heat shrink. Heat shrink's like stuff that you use when you're doing electrical wiring and stuff, basically insulates wires. The reason why I put it on the hook is because I was fishing with my dad when I was a kid in the boat, catching good lines away with sharks. And the hammerheads would come up, they'd see the bait, and now they'd hit them to the way. I was just a snake on the run. So what we figured out from that was because the hammerhead has the best, basically, all sharks have that middle sensory perception. It's like the sixth sense that sharks have. To give you a good idea, Robert, as a documentary also saw when I was a kid, we're in the floor at Kiwis, we grab a lemon shark, they take it under the palm tree, in the flats there in Florida, and they take it out to the 5 meters of water, stick it in the cage. The cage has 4 gates that open up into the sides. The first thing they do is they cut the shark's eyes, open all 4 gates, the shark swims in circles, swims down to the palm tree. The next thing they do is they cut the nose, the shark gets the goes back to its same palm tree. The third thing they do is they cover its head with like pointers standing on the palm tree, the shark can't point it to the palm. So it goes to show just how good sharks are using that sixth sense to find food that's in their area. So we realised when we were fishing with these hammerheads that it was the metal of the white trace we were using all the time, and then the hooks and the metal of the fingers to turn off. So Dad said, I don't want to try to this isn't actually the right size for this hook, it's a really good size, right in the extra hook. Now, the other thing I do is just run the hook to the bottom. And then in between the sinker and the last swing, that's just 7 kilo monitoring. Now, the reason I do that is because eventually in the soft sand on these surf beaches, that sinker buries so deep that it can get stuck and it could lose you the fish. So basically, if that does happen, and it's happened to me before, this is going to break here, and I'm going to get my rig back, and I can just retie a sinker like no one likes retying rigs, or I'm not going to lose my fish because my drag's not running, because this is stopping it from running. So that's why I tie a little breakaway. I think that's something everyone should do. So I'll pass that around and everyone can have a look at the rig. Essentially, it's really easy to tie, even though I just crapped on about it for a while.
Excuse me, have you experimented with the casting of that? And you can guarantee that that goes like a rocket, because physically that's going to go forward first.
The heavier end.
Yeah. Because that's where you're attached to the line.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, that's true. It definitely goes better than a star sinker though.
Well, I assume that you meant you cast further because it went like a rocket.
Well, I guess I always looked at it the shape of the rocket, but now you mention it, I guess it's going to spin and this bit's going to go first.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
but
the way to go.
I definitely do cast further with these sinkers than what I do star sinkers.
Right.
That's a good point. There is actually another brand that was called Moonraker, which looked more like a missile and was more bulbous at its front end, but they don't make them anymore. I can't find them. That's the second best thing.
I'll have to do a bit of thought so we can attach it to the solution. didn't fall in, but come back to the other.
If someone could make a mould,
Yeah.
like this, I've still got it, I want someone to pop it and make it. It was definitely better.
You try quick legs before with the wires?
Yeah, I don't like those. What I found was happening with those was you can't get them in heavy enough weights, and then the surge of the surf was bringing basically the rest of the leader over it, bringing it back into the gravel and wrapping it up. They're really good if you're fishing like a light swell or something like that. When you're fishing swell like I'm talking about, that heavy, they just don't hold bottom. So I've used the ones where it actually has the bendable wire and the ones where they flip out.
Yeah.
Doesn't work, you need that weight. 6 is the lightest I've used, and often I'll use 8. So the next thing that you, the next thing that's really important is the rod. This here is the Penn Prevail. Adam, do you remember how much these are roundabouts?
Well, it depends where you get it from, anywhere between $170 and $191.
Yeah, so for under $200, this is probably the best rod that you can get. I think this is 13 foot. The biggest thing you're looking for in a surf rod to do this is obviously something that can cast in excess of 6 ounces, because if your sink is 6 ounces and you're casting a big bait that's maybe 2 ounces, you're casting out 8 ounces. So you can see it's a big stiff rod. You know, it can cast out those heavy weights. And yeah, this thing's been really good since we got it for the magazine and reviewed it. They've sold a heap of them. You know, I've got a few gummies with it. It's rated 12 to 20 kilo. It's really heavy. You'll stop the sharks, you'll stop the pests, and you'll stop the weed. Now that's the other thing that you need to take into account. Whilst you probably don't need really heavy gear to stop the gummy shark in the surf, you do need the heavy gear to stop the enormous stingrays, enormous skates, and the other things that will take your bait. And you need it to stop the weed, because even if you get a day where you can't see weed, you might just get a rogue clump that weighs 15, 20 kilos, and you'll be fighting that weed back in to get all your line back. So I fish braid, and the minimum I'll fish is 50-pound braid. I then tie a shock leader that's probably a length and a half of the rod. The reason why I do the shock leader is because when the gummy comes into the surf at gaff time, and we'll talk about that, we do a death roll like a crocodile, like all sharks do. So if you've just got braid there, we'll cut it off. The other reason you need the shock leader is because it stops the weed from cutting the braid. We will cast further with lighter braid, but the thicker braid offers you better abrasion resistance, and also again fighting the pests and fighting the weed. So the minimum I'll do, which is on this reel at the moment, is 50 pound, but I'll often do 80 as well, depending on what the conditions are. Now this is a dedicated surf reel that Shimano make. It's their new Ultegra surf reel. I cast so much further with this reel. The spool's designed for distance casting. I think this is about 250 bucks, maybe a bit less. It comes with 2 other spools as well, so you can have your different line classes on it. It's the best bang for buck reel that I've ever come across for surf fishing. The other important thing about it is it has a free spool system. Has everyone here used a bait runner reel before with a free spool on it? Yeah, so this one has it at the top. Basically you switch it like that. That's not your drag. Your drag's here, and this is your free spool system here. So what you need to do is once you've got your rig set up, you've got your big bait on it, walk down to the water's edge